been a year plus since I joined Radium Medical Aesthetics, but it's been a while since I last caught up with Dr. Siew. So today I've decided to get Dr. Siew back for coffee so that we can catch up as well as to talk about the current aesthetic trends. Hi Dr. Siew, it's so nice to be able to catch up with you over coffee as well as to talk about the current aesthetic trends.
Yeah, indeed. We're so busy normally that it's really rare for us to be able to sit down and have a chat with each other.
So Dr. Siew, never had a chance to ask you, how do you actually juggle your time between SOSD and your day job?
Well, with great difficulty. Both SOSD and Radium take up a lot of time. I'm very fortunate to have volunteers and staff to help me, both in Radium and in SOSD. So you can see that when I'm not busy in clinic, I'm always doing some SOSD work. Sometimes it's in between patients. I'll find little periods of time where I urgently have to settle some stuff in SOSD. Other times I do the work after my office hours and also on weekends on my off days.
So what does SOSD actually do? And what do you do in SOSD?
Well, SOSD is primarily an animal welfare charity. SOSD used to be called Save Our Street Dogs, but now we just call it SOSD. SOSD rescues, rehabilitates and rehomes stray and homeless dogs in Singapore. We also do a lot of trap neuter release work, meaning we catch the dogs off the street, we sterilize them and then we release them back. This is for humane population control, so they do not have to be culled. Previously in Singapore, stray dogs were rounded up and culled. It was very cruel and we really wanted to stop this cycle, and SOSD has successfully worked together with other groups and authorities to improve the lives of dogs in Singapore. My role in SOSD, I'm the president and I was the co-founder. So I spent the past 9 years of my life running the organization. I used to be very involved operationally. It took a lot of time, but now because I'm busy in Radium, I don't do the operational role anymore. I take a back seat, I do the administrative role and I give directions. What about you? Tell me about why you chose to do aesthetics.
Well, I think doing aesthetics is a natural extension for anyone who loves doing procedures as well as who's passionate about beauty at the same time. So Dr. Siew, talking about aesthetics, I know that you're very passionate about injectable treatments as well as their biostimulatory properties. So what is one of your favorite injectable treatments?
Indeed, I use a lot of injectables, fillers, biostimulators. Currently, I use a lot of Profilo. Profilo is a very interesting treatment. So it is made out of pure hyaluronic acid. This is a substance that's already found in our body. Using a patented thermal process, the company IPSA creates these stabilized hybrid cooperative complexes. And these complexes, when injected into the body, they do certain things which are really very beneficial to the skin. They stimulate collagen. Unlike other hyaluronic acid fillers, Profilo has the ability to stimulate collagen. So this gives a tightening effect once it's injected onto the skin. Profilo also gives improvements in texture and in hydration to the skin. And one other big difference between Profilo and other biostimulatory skin boosting treatments is that you do not need the many injections, which a lot of people are very afraid of. You only need 5 injections in the lower part of the face and cheeks, and then the substance has a very high spreadability. So once you inject it, it will spread and it will give its beneficial effects.
Recently, I actually read about needleless Profilo. What's your take on it?
Well, like many other popular treatments out there, all sorts of funny things start to happen. So now people are starting to say that, oh, you can deliver Profilo without a needle, which unfortunately cannot be true, because if you have injected Profilo or had it done, you realize that the product is actually quite viscous and hard. So this is because of the high concentration of hyaluronic acid of 64 milligrams per 2 mils. So it's so viscous, it's impossible for it to be delivered without a needle. It has to be delivered directly into the deep dermal and subdermal layers of the skin, and this can only be done via a 29 gauge needle.
Yeah, I agree. So who do you actually recommend to go for Profilo?
Well, Profilo is very versatile. It's very beneficial for people with mature, lax skin because it gives this tightening effect. Once you do the treatment, you will find that the skin becomes firmer and more lifted. Even people who are less mature, people who have started to show signs of aging, Well, Profilo is really great to anti-age the skin. It means that after having the treatment, you'll find that your skin sags slower, you age slower as well. What about you? What treatment do you do a lot of at Radium?
Well, I do see a lot of patients with acne at Radium, and their concerns can range from active acne to acne scarring. And one of my favorite treatments for tackling active acne would be the Gold PTT treatment. As you know, gold nanoparticles are applied on the skin, heated up by laser energy with selective destruction of the oil glands. And I've gotten really positive feedback from patients. They tell me that their acne flares are much better controlled, as well as they can see good improvement in their overall skin texture as well as pore size. So I do think Gold PTT is definitely a very useful treatment to have in clinic.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear, right? Because acne is so difficult to treat, and to have one more effective treatment against it, I think it is really good. If you were to use 3 words to describe your perspective of aesthetics, what would they be?
For me, it would be beauty, symmetry, as well as proportions, a harmonious combination of all 3. So back to you, Dr. Siew. Which 3 words will you use?
Well, my 3 words would be balance, individuality, and the third one might be not what you expect, it's kindness.
Oh.
So why I choose these 3? Aesthetics, of course, is all about balance, right? We want the face to be in aesthetic proportion to each other. You cannot have lips which are too thick, you cannot have a chin which is too sharp.
Yep.
Well, when our skin is off balance, some diseases happen as well, such as acne. So when we have balance of the skin, of the facial proportions, then we achieve aesthetic perfection. Aesthetics has to be individualized and not the cookie cutter. And that's why I think individuality is important. We customize all our treatments for our patients at Radium Medical Aesthetics. And finally, why I choose kindness is because I feel that a lot of times we and our patients are not too kind to ourselves, right? So people often look at themselves and they see that one flaw, one pore, one wrinkle. They feel that the nose is not sharp enough, and they just get very upset with themselves. And actually, when you look at them in totality, they actually already look very good. So I believe that if our patients can be kinder to themselves, then they'll be happier and we will all have a better aesthetic outcome.
Well, I think that's very well expressed. So it was great catching up with you, and I think we should do this more often.
Yeah, we really should. It's nice to sit down and have coffee once in a while.